Here in our Lagos studio, we'll be looking at the tenure elongation of the Inspector General of Police, talking about Kayode Egbetokun, and how it has generated a lot of reactions in the public space, especially from renowned activist, former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, who has actually been on the jugular of the Inspector General of Police. Joining us to discuss this all the way from the City of Power is Chukwemere Udochukwu. He's a public affairs analyst, joins us virtually from Abuja. Good morning, Udochukwu, and good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you. Good to see you too.
Thank you very much for obliging us your time. Now, walk us through the um, controversy surrounding the tenure elongation of the Inspector General of Police. What says you, looking at the backlashes that he has gotten?
Well, I don't think there is any reason for all this backlash because the Police Act is clear, and again, the Constitution that makes provision for the establishment of Police Service Commission is also clear. According to Police Act, the Inspector General of Police is appointed by the President with advice from the Police Council, and his tenure is 4 years. So it is unfortunate, even though Omoyele Sowore has been an activist, he has contributed a lot to end police brutality, to protect and defend human rights. But in activism, when you are into activism, you should also try to be patriotic. You shouldn't do your activism outside the provision of the laws. You should be doing activism to promote and defend the laws of your country and not to cause confusion in the politics. Section 6 of the Police Act clearly states Section 7 of the Police Act clearly states the appointment of the Inspector General of Police by Commander-in-Chief, and also his tenure. So all these things, I don't think they are necessary anyway.
Okay, if you're
Because,
saying that, are you there, Udochukwu?
yes, I'm there. I'm hearing
Okay,
you.
now if you're saying all these are not really necessary, yes, to an extent, the Attorney General of the Federation has affirmed the IGP's tenure as legal. Now, does this fully resolve the controversy? If you have actually seen the press briefing Omoyele's granted recently, he's still insisting the IGP is illegally staying in the office.
If he insists, because one, the Attorney General of the Federation is the chief law officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Attorney General didn't speak his own opinion. He spoke with facts based on the law governing the country. So if Sowore is saying that the IGP is illegal IGP, he should tell Nigerians which provisions of the law makes the man an illegal IGP. I think the case is even now before the court of law. So these things, because I see it as sometimes, when you are doing activism, you shouldn't have opinion on every development. If he has issue with IGP, or maybe if there is another case of human rights violation or another case he has against IGP, I think he should push that out instead of relying on all these things. Because even he said that I saw one statement before where he said that the law was quickly amended to favor the IGP. But law is law. So far, there is a provision for his appointment, that his appointment is backed by the provisions of the law. The law is law. So I don't see any reason for all this, all this show or drama going on.
Okay, quickly, I would like you to look into your camera. You're actually looking upward. Probably you are not having a proper focus. You have to focus now. Look at your camera properly, please, so that we can have a better view of you. Thank you very much. Now, let's move on. You are saying Sore is wrong in a way, but do you think it's proper for an IGP to remain in office even when his retirement age has caught up with him? Won't that cause a cluster in the pyramid of operation and cause some kind of delay for other officers who are aspiring to get into that office?
First of all, IGP is not a civil servant. Like other security chiefs, they were appointed by the president with the approval of the National Assembly in line with the relevant laws of the country. So if you're talking of retirement age, I think that applies strictly for the civil servant, because if you are talking of, that means if the president is also 60 years, he should retire. IGP is not a civil servant. So I don't think the retirement age of 60 applies to him too.
Okay, now, do you think, let's get your opinion on this now, do you think there should be a kind of a shorter term in office instead of having these 4-year terms in the office? Should the office term be reduced so that other people who are aspiring to get to that office could probably attain that level?
When you have an administration, or when you are heading an office, you have your plans. You have the plans you intend to execute. And that fixed tenure of 4 years, I think, in my own understanding, I think the National Assembly amended the law so that it will grant the IGP or anybody appointed to that position a better opportunity to execute his plans without fear of retirement. Because before now, whenever an IGP is appointed, the person will stay in office like 2, 3, 5 months, and he will retire. He will leave. And in Nigeria, and not only in Nigeria anyway, whenever a new administration comes up, the administration hardly implements the decisions or the policies of the predecessor. So I think in order to ensure stability in the process, the IGP should have at least 4 years tenure, so that it will enable him to implement the policies of the police force.
Okay, now beyond his legality in office, how would you assess IGP Egbetokun's leadership in crime control and police reform so far?
I think the president as IGP is though there are still cases of police brutality, because when you are controlling crime, you should also try to respect the people you are protecting. Even though the present police has done enough, the present police administration has done enough to, defend the citizens against police brutality. In terms of crime, they need to sit up, because if you're in many parts of the country, especially from the southeast that I come from, we still have some cases, or in fact, many cases of kidnapping, of many kinds of crimes. So I think the police force, even though they are trying, where we said they improved in cases of cases of police brutality. I don't think the rate is like it was before. But in terms of fighting crime, they need to sit up.
And you think to an extent, you think to an extent the current leadership of the Nigerian police force, led by Inspector General Kayode Egbetokun, has not been doing well in the southeast region? Do you think to an extent that submission is okay?
To an extent, in the south that I come from, we still have cases of all these crimes, so they will still need to sit up. They are trying anyway. They have because before now, we have cases of armed men killing police officers at checkpoints, burning police stations. But with the cooperation of the southeast governors, I think the situation is being brought under control, but we are not still there. A lot still need to be done.
Okay, let's quickly head for a break now. If you're with us, we'll return back just after this time out. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just joining it this morning on ITV, reaching you live from our network studios here in Lagos, Nigeria, we are looking at the tenure elongation of the IGP in office and how it has generated a lot of backlashes. We still have with us, joining us virtually from Abuja, the city of power, Chukwumere Udochukwu, a public affairs analyst. And live here in the studio, we have with us Paul Erame. He's also known as Alinko. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's quickly get your view. We've been engaging with Udochukwu, but let's get your view. Recently, you heard what happened. You saw how it got reactions from civil rights activists. Do you think it was proper for the former presidential candidate and activist, talking about Omoyele Sowore, to engage the IGP in that manner?
You know, they say bad things will continue to take place when good people refuse to speak up to correct the anomaly. You understand? Ordinarily, this is just the normal thing to do, to say, see, the system is sick, so how do we rescue ourselves? So the right thing for the average human being, for you to be a patriot, is to call out the anomaly. That this thing shouldn't be like this. We need to make way for other people in the system. Let them be promoted. All right? Being the IG is not exclusively the rights of somebody, a particular person. Everybody should be able to, you know, ascend to that particular seat, and let's see, who knows, make the system better.
But talking about making the system better, he who pays the piper determines the tune. He's an appointee of the president, and by so doing, the president have all the right to either keep him longer than necessary. Don't you think so?
Now, he who pays the piper determines the tune. You see, this is one of the major problems we have in this country. Okay, you want to reward somebody. What if there is somebody in the system who can actually remove all the evils in the system? I mean, people keep complaining, officers, this one has retired, okay, or this one has not retired. We have officers who are receiving salaries right now. Do you know that we still have ghost officers in the system?
Do you have that fact?
Well, I challenge the establishment, you know, to okay, let me challenge Mr. President now. If he can boldly make that move, let him go around and say, okay, I want to know exactly the number of workers. Go to government buildings. You will see officers. You will say, these ones, are they like, how exactly are they functioning? We have somebody that you only see them in the office. What if there is somebody...
But don't you think they have extra duties outside their primary assignments?
By being ghost workers.
Okay, let's quickly engage with Udochukwu. Mr. Udochukwu, quickly, how can activism contribute positively to police reforms without violating legal boundaries?
Okay, thank you. Activism, activists should always ensure, because I had my brother there saying that if the right people don't speak up, that abnormally will persist. But we remember, whenever you are trying to correct something wrong, you will not at the same time doing wrong. If you want to correct something wrong, you must be sure that you abide by the provisions of the law governing your country. Because if you are an activist, every activist is expected to be a lawful, or in fact, a patriotic citizen. And for you to be a patriotic citizen, you shouldn't operate outside the provisions of the laws of your country. If you operate outside the provisions of the laws of your country, that means you can be described as a catalyst to anarchy. Because anybody that is operating outside the provisions of the law is simply promoting anarchy, which activism shouldn't be linked to.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
All right, we want to manage our time. We have less than a minute to leave the studio. Quickly, help us. What lessons can Nigeria learn from other advanced countries in terms of policing?
Other countries, you notice that these are officers. When they travel abroad, they tend to be themselves. You understand? But once they come back home, trust me, they will be the one to say, okay, these are the rules and we're going to deal this way. These same people want to bend the rules. Okay, the Police Service Commission had an emergency meeting of recent, and they made it known that if you've attained the age of 60, you've spent 35 years, respect yourself, move. The real subject matter has not been addressed. But you are saying somebody in the...
What is the real subject matter?
The real subject matter is the IG.
Okay.
Why are you not going?
But some of them have been asked to go, even his classmates.
Good. What happens to the IG?
Well,
why are they shying away from it? Can you imagine if not that Mr. Shiwore boldly and gallantly raised this issue? Like, he's even excited that, okay, he's currently with them. Many of us are ready to be jailed. You understand? Now, if not for the fact that he raised this thing, like, check out the prof, for instance, the son. What are you still doing in the system? You are in charge of the legal matters, the legal session,
okay,
and you don't want to go. We have young officers, for God's sake.
We
Let
need
them grow.
We need to hand over back now to Abuja Network Center. You said some of you want to be jailed.
Yes,
we just
for
hope,
the right thing.
I hope you have up to 10 million naira to have people come bail you.
We have more than that. We have more
All right,
than
Mr.
enough.
Odochukwu, thank you very much. We appreciate you for your time, and we would like to have you again on this platform, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much,
Thank you for having me.
for coming. Quickly, before we let you go, let's give you a parting shot from here. All right, February is a reminder that even the shortest month can bring the biggest opportunities. Stay focused, stay driven, and make every day count.